She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. So this is DreamWorks and Netflix's newest animated show, which is a remake of the original She-Ra from back in the 80s. So this show follows Adora, this warrior for this evil army called the Horde. And in the beginning of the show, we see her training to become a general, essentially. And through some events, she ends up going outside of their little evil organization camp. And she ends up stumbling upon this sword, the sword of, I want to say it's Sword of Power, which allows her to transform into She-Ra. And when she's out there in the jungle, this forest where she finds the sword, she's discovered by two freedom fighters who are fighting against the Horde, Glimmer and Bow. And through a bunch of events, she eventually ends up seeing that the Horde is evil, and she ends up joining the rebellion and trying to gather all these princesses together to fight against the Horde. So that's the very, very basic premise of this show. She-Ra and her friends are somewhat going around trying to unite the princesses to battle the forces of the evil Horde that is led by the evil Hordak. There's a lot more to this story in depth. Like Adora, she has this friend named Catra. They're more like sisters, and they have a real close bond. And as the story goes on, we see that how their separation works, because Catra, she stays with the Horde, and Adora, she joins the rebellion. So there's kind of like a rift, yet a lot of love there, and it's an interesting story to see between those two characters. This show, like I said, is a remake of the show from the cartoon from the 80s. I really didn't watch that show. I did see, or I have seen some episodes, but that was a long time ago when I was a kid, so I don't really remember it, and I don't really know how much of the story is faithful to that original story. But what I can say is that this story, not knowing anything else about really She-Ra all that much, except for like He-Man and stuff like that, is that I actually really enjoyed it. I thought the show was really good. It had good story, great characters. The animation for the most part was fantastic. They messed up a lot of times with She-Ra's sword and Bow's arrows. Like sometimes they would have them, and then sometimes they would drop them, and then all of a sudden they magically appear on their back. Or there was an episode where Bow he ran out of arrows. He's like, I'm out of arrows. And then like a scene a little bit later, he had a quiver full of arrows for some reason, which was a simple mistake, but I just couldn't help notice it. But not a big detriment to the show at all, just something I noticed. But overall, like I said, the show is fantastic. There's a lot of great stuff here. Like I said, the story is very interesting. You get the standard rebellion versus the evil forces. But added up with Adora and Catra adds a little bit more to the story, because I like that, friends from both sides, like the opposites. It's like you have one friend fighting for one side and another friend fighting on the other side. Kind of reminds me of Gundam Seed. I really like that anime, where you have Kira and Aprin on opposite sides, and they're fighting against each other. It's a little bit similar, not in that depth, I guess, because we've only had 13 episodes so far, but I hopefully they build upon it. And there's a nice episode where we get to see their child and everything and how they grew up, which was really appreciated. Like I said, I really like the characters in this show. One of my favorites, or my favorite, is Entrapta, kind of like a neglectful mad scientist type character. I absolutely love this character. She's very interesting. I can't wait to see more. Like I said, this is a fantastic show. I want to talk spoilers, so I give this show an 8 out of 10. Yeah, an 8 out of 10. Fantastic. Absolutely recommended. If you love the original show, I think you will love this one. If you love shows like Voltron, I think you definitely will love this, because it's an absolutely great, fantastic reboots and great animated series. Nice action cartoon. So I think you would like it. So like I said, 8 out of 10. So let me talk spoilers real quick. I'm going to talk spoilers. I'm going to count to 5 and then get out of here if you haven't seen the show. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. So, spoilers. As the show goes on, like I said, they go around getting princesses onto the side. And they eventually get Entrapta to join them. And Glimmer eventually gets captured as the series goes on. So the princess they've gathered come together, and they go to try to save Glimmer. And As they're escaping, Entrapta, it looks like she dies, but it turns out she survived and she was waiting for her friends to come save her. But Catra convinces her that they just forgot her and that they don't like her, and they just decided to leave her behind. So she ends up joining the Horde, not because she's evil, just because she likes playing with the technology, and any chance or anyone who gives her the ability to mess with any kind of technology, she's willing to not essentially join, but stick around and play with their stuff and just fool around with that thing. So she ends up joining them inadvertently, and which I really like her interactions with the evil Horde people. But she ends up joining them, and through her, she's able to use this crystal the Horde has to weaken all the crystals around the kingdom. And eventually, all the princesses their kingdom Glimmer's kingdom gets attacked, and it's about to get conquered by Catra, and not even She-Ra and Bo are able to stop it. But eventually, all the princesses unites. They come together because they had separated after they thought Entrapta died, which was really dumb. They were just like, "Oh, Entrapta, she died. I guess we're better off alone." Anyway, they split up, but they come back together at the end, and that's where this show kind of ends with all the princesses united. But Entrapta and Catra and Scorpia go to Hordor, and she's like, I'm definitely gonna win this war for us, and that's where it ends. I kind of like that because it sets up the next season. We got a lot of mystery of She-Ra and who she is and Eternia and everything like that. But one thing I kind of thought was dumb was the rebellion. Like when we first see him, there seems to be a lot of people in the rebellion, but in the last episode, there's only it seems like it's only Bo, She-Ra, and Glimmer, and Glimmer's mom, and there's two other princesses. What's her name? Netasa, and some wind princess. I can't remember her name. But everyone else just seems to kind of disappear, which I thought was kind of really weird and awkward. It kind of bugged me. It's a small thing, but I was like, what happened to everyone else who was with their rebellion? Did they just die or something? I don't know. I must have missed it, but they were gone. That was one of my pet peeves. But overall, like I said, the show's fantastic. I like the ending. It was a big, I honestly thought they were going to lose. I was like, oh man, is it going to end with them retreating and just failing? But the princesses came in the last minute and saved them, and I was like, oh, whew. I was literally on the edge of my seat, which was really surprising. I'm usually like, they're going to be saved, but I just wasn't sure. I was just like, oh man. So they definitely got me. Like I said, the show is very enjoyable. If you like Voltron, you're going to enjoy this show. I hope that's one of the things they learned from is Voltron, because Voltron started off in a similar manner where the evil forces were really few and far between, and then they grew and grew, and then the good guys grew with a lot of allies. So I'm hoping that's something that happens in the show as well, which at the end they had a lot more allies, but they could gain more, and the evil forces could have better generals as well. They only had a few noticeable ones. But overall, fantastic show. Definitely enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It's a good show. That's all I have to say. If you watched the show, what did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you love the original better? Did you love the new one more? What are the differences? Like I said, I haven't seen it, so let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out. Hey, if you like this video, we have several other awesome videos you can check out. And again, thanks for watching.